Hello, Pisces, and welcome to your new moon in Scorpio reading. So, there's some very interesting energies playing out with this new moon. The new moon is happening in the sign of Scorpio at 28 degrees, so which means the sun and the moon are both at 28 degrees. Snuggled up with that sun and the moon is Mercury retrograde at 28 degrees. And all of this energy, the sun, the moon, the Mercury retrograde, is in opposition to Uranus, which is at 29 degrees and 29 minutes of Taurus. So I just felt very interesting. I have a big thing connection with numbers and things like that. So to see these 28s, 28 breaks down to a 10, which is completing out a cycle, a chapter, something like that. And it's in opposition to that Uranus, which is at 29 degrees and 29 minutes of Taurus. 9 and 2 break down to 11. So this feels to me like a very powerful. I feel like there is a powerful transformation that is taking place. I feel there are some things that are going to be revealed during this new moon energy, which allows someone to, I feel, master some sort of challenge that they're facing or dealing with right now, that sort of energy. But we're going to take a look and see what's showing up. I just felt that that was very interesting, and hopefully it helps you as well. You can look at this where 29 degrees of Scorpio is in your chart and see what house is activated with this new moon. I'm also feeling the need to draw your attention towards looking at where 29 degrees of Taurus is in your chart. So that will kind of give you an idea on what is having this tug of war right now with this new moon. I do feel it's a very powerful moon. I feel like it is going to be a fantastic moon. Um, really, because I feel like it's bringing forth a radical shift and a change by revealing something that is time to see, time to close out. First card that's showing up is House 4. So for some of you, this could be within your home, your family. Fourth house does talk about the foundation. That can even represent, you as an individual, the foundation, who you are internally, the core of who you are, that place of feeling safe and secure in who you are, that sort of energy. But the fourth house does talk about home, family, foundation, could have mother energy, mother's something to do with mother could be associated with this. So take what resonates, release what doesn't. Oh, I didn't even light my candle. Hold on, let me grab a lighter. Let me light this. I do have another candle burning, but I want to put this one here specifically to have this one burning as well. So there we go. All right, so let's keep moving forward. So I see this fourth house. Fourth house, what other energy for Pisces? What other messages are coming through for the sign of Pisces for this new moon in Scorpio? And wow, there's Scorpio's ruler, Pluto, showing up. So again, this is really like showing up as a major transformation, a completion of something. Something is ending out. I feel what's ending out for you is something that wasn't stable, it wasn't secure, it wasn't a nurturing, loving, it wasn't a healthy, if it's within a home, right? It's like an environment, that sort of thing. Again, take what resonates with you, release what doesn't. You'll have to see what houses are activated with this new moon for you. The next card that comes up is Cancer energy again. So this is showing up twice. I feel there's a major transformation going on within someone's home, within someone's foundation, their family, connection, whatever this is showing up to me. But I feel with this Pluto being here, it's talking about a major transformation that is taking place. For some people, this is kind of like embracing the transformation, embracing this shift, this change, this whatever this is. There could be some resistance from others because maybe it's out of their comfort zone and they're not. they're not willing to get uncomfortable to go through some sort of transformation and change. I feel like it's happening regardless, but absolutely. Bottom of the deck is Saturn. This is about learning lessons. This is about structure, discipline. This has something to do with karma as well. Doesn't have to be yours. It can be an energy that's going through a transformation. I'm going to look, and Saturn right now is at 25 degrees of Pisces. So this is in your, your sign right now, along with Neptune and the North Node. So I feel this transformation is I kind of feel well overdue, right? It's giving me the feeling like this has been a long time coming, and now it's just like, race to the finish line, or, that sort of energy. It's time to complete something out. It's time to have this transformation. It's time to stabilize something, bring about a change of some sort in that home, that family, that place you feel safe, secured, nurtured, and loved. Take what resonates again, release what doesn't. Let's Next card that pops up is the sun. Yeah, look. So if you can look at just the way this spread is laying out right now, you see with the transformation and the change. And again, it's really giving me this high, focus on a home environment, a family dynamic, something like that. It's, nurturing and caring, or connections, relationships, that sort of thing, even within oneself. But I'm loving how where I'm seeing this going is to the sun, and the sun illuminates, good energy. It illuminates happiness, joy. It brings clarity. It brings fun. It brings unconditional love with the sun. Wow, look at the bottom of the deck, Scorpio energy. I feel, Pisces, this new moon for you is really going to be a big deal. Intensity, exposing, purging, and renewing, and that's it. It's like the Pluto is what deconstructs to reconstruct, and it deconstructs by bringing what's done in the dark or what's hidden to the light. And again, it's just, this may not be for everybody. Take what resonates, release what doesn't. But I feel for whoever this resonates with, there has been an awareness, a recognizing of something that was unhealthy, or something that just didn't feel right, or something that just didn't, like reciprocate that energy of safety, security, nurturing, love, that sort of energy. And I feel like there's no more pretending, or no more sweeping in this underneath the rug no more. It's time to, like, I feel like being forced to face this head on, to accept what is, look at the reality of things and bring forth some sort of transformation. And the next energy that is showing up here is a square energy. So this is a challenge. And, if this is within a home, a family, that sort of energy, yes, it can be challenging to be the catalyst for change, or to embrace this transformation, that sort of thing. But I feel like overcoming this challenge um, really stabilizes the foundation, the core, whether this be within yourself, within your family, within your home, whatever this is. Next energy that shows up is mutable energy. And look what it says straight off the bat: surrender, fluidity, and welcoming change. So I don't feel like someone's going to be, I mean, for the most part, I don't feel like someone's going to be resisting this transformation and this change, because I feel the energy that the transformation is coming through for has been, like I said, I felt like it's been something that's been a long time coming, or a long time it's been needed, that sort of energy. I just feel like there is a challenge of overcoming that, and I feel by approaching it, handling it in a different way, making different choices and decisions in regards to whatever this is. But I do feel there is this solid, like 10 toes down, is I'm embracing this change. I'm going through this transformation. I'm no longer accepting, whatever this was that I don't feel like was very beneficial for whoever I'm reading for, anyways. I kind of just feel like it was that energy of feeling maybe a lack of reciprocating energy, a lack of stability. It just feels like there was something that was missing, that was, and it's like someone, I kind of feel someone who was just comfortable with the status quo, something like that, like somebody who was comfortable, or, in whatever this was, but it doesn't feel to me like it was a healthy, right? Even though they're comfortable with it, it doesn't make me feel like it was a healthy for their mind, their body, their spirit, that sort of energy. And I feel like this is being brought to a head. I do see those energies that are showing up out here. Like I said, we've seen Saturn, where we're about to learn a lesson when that shows up, right? And Pluto is about bringing that transformation, and this square is about making you uncomfortable and kind of like pushing you to go through this transformation, or be, accept this transformation. So the first card coming up to clarify, and this is the fourth house. This talks about basking in nature. If you've been around here for a while, I'm always throwing that out there. I know how important that is, getting outside, grounding yourself, allowing that fresh air to come in, and almost like, you breathe in that fresh air, and it kind of like you can breathe out all that toxic, stale, stagnant energy, air, whatever you want to call that, right? I do feel like being out in nature really helps to move that stagnant, stuck kind of, I want to say, gloomy energy, or just really stagnant energy. So I do feel the universe is saying to you, make time to get outside, go for a walk, just, sit on your porch, do whatever it is, but enjoying the scenery, the fresh air, that sort of energy, the faithful way. And I love when I see this card, even though it looks really intense, right? To me, this card represents that catalyst of change, that turbulence, right? You see all the turbulent water right there. I feel like this does bring up a lot of feelings, a lot of emotions, a lot of turbulence within relationships in regards to feelings, or something like that. Like, this could even be someone who this transformation is someone who never spoke how they felt, or don't speak up very often about how they feel, or how something makes them feel within their home, their family, that sort of situation. Um, it does give me that kind of vibe as well, but I do feel like this is for a greater good. So you remember to breathe in. Maybe that's when these emotions and feelings come up and you feel a little overwhelmed. That can be a perfect time. Take a break, step outside, step back from the situation. We see delightful intimacy. I did see this several times when I was shuffling, and I thought it did stick out to me for whatever reason. I mean, I do kind of pay attention to the cards when I'm seeing them, but this one really stuck out to me. So I do feel like I feel like there's depth. And it's interesting to see it on top of Pluto, because I feel like whatever this is for you, I feel like it's about, really tapping into the depth of conversations, of feelings, of emotions in regards to partnership, that sort of thing. Treasure of abundance is at the bottom of the deck. So I do feel a very successful outcome through all of this. I kind of feel like it's like that is the major transformation. That is the what brings this change and this transformation into a situation. I'm almost feeling not where it's like being more vulnerable, opening up, really expressing, a vulnerable side of yourself, or a more emotional side of yourself than maybe you're used to, or you typically do, that sort of energy. The card that comes up on the Cancer energy to clarify that is stay in the flow. And I feel like this is staying in the flow and in the energy of, I feel strong expression of your feelings of, this is a new moon, but anytime we talk about the moon is about, feelings. Oftentimes when we look at the moon, it can be feelings that we keep hidden for whatever reason. We suppress them, that sort of energy. This feels to me like this new moon is like turning a new leaf, and in the way somebody expresses themselves, the things, the emotions, the feelings that like, I'm feeling like they're taking it from being hidden or from being covered or filtered or whatever this is, and allowing that energy to flow. Bottom of the deck is the anointed with love. So this really is beautiful energy about something coming together. And it feels like, the releasing, where I felt that transformation coming in, is an old way of doing things. An old, maybe someone was very uncomfortable or didn't feel comfortable or didn't feel safe to express how they feel. Um, and could have been something that stemmed from childhood, because we are seeing a lot of cancer energy out here. So talking about the home, the family, the mother, this could be, for someone who really didn't have that nurturing, that unconditional love, or that emotional feminine support, that sort of energy. Right? And it's kind of like bringing this to the surface now for some healing, some transformation, and moving forward any which way that I'm seeing this. Stand in your strength is the next card that's coming up. And this is so interesting. I love to see this. So it's funny. The sun, and then you get the stand in your strength. The sun is all about strength, right? Sun is having strength, having courage, having confidence, right? Standing in one's power. And it's really interesting because I'm looking at this right here, right? Let me show you. And this is for the sign of Pisces. If you were to flip this up like this, right? This card up like this, you see this right there? That would indicate to me the sign of Neptune, right? Let me show you. I'll try to get a give you a good look at this. But here is Neptune in a chart. See how Neptune is right there? This is Neptune. And then with this right here, that's Neptune. That is your ruling planet. So it's giving me the energy of somebody standing in their power. And Pisces, as a water sign, not only are you very intuitive, right? Um, but you are a water sign, which talks about you really do have deep feelings, emotions. You may not necessarily show it on the surface, right? People may not see when they're hurting your feelings or doing all of that sort of thing, hurting you in an emotional way, something like that. But I do feel like this is you really saying it, showing it, like expressing it. I feel like you're no longer hiding the feelings, the emotions, and allowing yourself to be vulnerable and bring forth some sort of transformation with. And for some of you, this is in regards to relationships, partnerships, and it's shown up twice with intimacy now. So I'm feeling like this is something to do with personal relationships, and that's just what I'm feeling. So let's take a look at what Saturn. What is Saturn here trying to say? And Saturn again is in the sign of Pisces. It is in your first house. So again, yes, that makes all so much sense. Where you're learning now, where it's the time, like the timing is here. I'm even seeing the clock up here. I'm feeling like it's time now for you to really express your authentic self, your feelings, your emotions, allowing yourself to be vulnerable and to see where things fall, right? Because I feel if you are in a relationship or a connection, or maybe you're not even in one, but I feel like you are recognizing what you need to learn in regards to moving forward and in a more healthy way, not only for you, but for your connections, for your relationships, that sort of energy. Joy of generosity is clarifying this Saturn, and I like to feel this energy. I love to see this. Saturn, sometimes gets a bad rap, so does Pluto, really. And I've talked about this before. So Pluto is deconstruct to reconstruct. A great thing about Pluto one of the beautiful things about it, I feel is that Pluto can bring us to a depth within ourself, uncovering treasures, gifts, parts of ourself we never have even tapped into, right? And so I feel like Pluto being that deconstructing energy, it can deconstruct or destruct um, things that are just meant to be torn away, broke down, so that you can uncover what's been hidden underneath them. And with Saturn over here, which is another one I always feel gets it. This is a square. I don't know why I keep saying Saturn. So I feel like there is some sort of lesson in all of this. But I do feel when I keep feeling Saturn with that square, even though it is a challenge, right? It's about learning. And I feel like someone does learn. And I feel like this, with this challenge, like I want to go back to the Saturn energy, because Saturn is our teacher. It's about timing, it's about karma. There's a lot of things associated with it, but one of the big things about Saturn that not a lot of people pay attention to is that although it can teach us some pretty harsh lessons, it can also reward us in very generous ways, in ways like that would blow Jupiter right out of the water, right? So it can have a very powerful um, energy as far as rewarding. And typically, when Saturn leaves a certain area of your life, when you're after teaching you those lessons, after the timing of this period is done and over, it will often leave behind a blessing for your obedience, for your hard work, for your perseverance. I'm sorry. And I feel like that's what's taking place for you, Pisces, as I'm seeing this joy of generosity. I'm feeling like someone overcomes that challenge, that square, whatever that is for them, and is rewarded generously, I feel, rewarded for that lesson. And bottom of the deck is welcome change. This is beautiful energy. So, again, I feel like someone's not resisting this. Someone's recognizing this. They're owning it. They're accepting it. And they're going to move forward in a new way, in a healthier way, in a more nurturing, loving, stable way, and aligning with that sort of energy. All right, let me pull some more clarifying cards for this energy. The first card that comes out is the Nine of Cups. Look at that. Wish fulfillment. You see that heart? You see that bird delivering that heart? There's some love being delivered to you for your due diligence, for your perseverance, and look, whatever this has been for you, I feel like there was a lot of challenge maybe throughout your entire lifetime to get to this point. When we see the lotus flowers, you know that lotus grows from the darkness, from the challenge, from the muck, from the bottom of the pond. And when them things break through that water, they are gorgeous, they are vibrant, they are beautiful. They almost don't even look real if you've ever seen them in real life, because they look so picture perfect. But I feel like through all of that work, like I said, all of these experiences and challenges that you've had, and for some of you, I'm really feeling like this was as something that stemmed, like if you were to trace it back and get to the core of where these issues were, or in your life, throughout life, the certain cycles or patterns or things, I feel like you could trace it back to childhood. Like, it gives me the feeling of an environment that wasn't nurturing or loving or stable, always chaotic, that sort of energy. um Bottom of the deck is the Four of Cups, and I feel someone has felt a lot of like rejection in life, or disappointments, emotionally being let down quite a bit, kind of like they've built a thick skin, or they've built almost like this invisible layer of protection to protect their heart, their feelings, their emotions. I was picking up on this throughout this whole thing. I will not be surprised, Pisces, if it is an emotionally, like a very emotional energy around the time of this full new moon. I don't know why I'm saying full moon, because I'm feeling because I'm feeling a lot of release. I feel like it can be very emotional. Not only is it this new moon in a water sign, Scorpio, but this is for a water sign being Pisces. So I wouldn't be surprised to see a lot of, you know, emotions come up, released, cleansing, purging. And I did see that in another energy somewhere around here where there would be a purging and a releasing of old, maybe just feelings and emotions. And it feels to me like a major release. So leave me a comment. Let me know when this new moon goes through. You can be feeling the new moon energy showing up now. We are only a few days out from this. So, if you're feeling yourself a little emotional right now, just be mindful too. And we always talk about emotions, feelings, and things like that around the new moon energy. Um, and I always feel it's important to remind people that this isn't going to last forever. You're not going to be, feeling like crying or purging or cleansing for the next 3 months. It's kind of like the energy moves into different signs and your feelings will change. So be mindful of that. So we did see the Four of Cups on the bottom of the deck, and the Four of Swords is showing up. So this feels like somebody going within. This feels to me like somebody who's taking the time out to rest, rejuvenate. This card always makes me feel like hibernation, where someone is really just blocking out the world. And it's interesting to see it with the lineup with Pluto up there and the intimacy, because I feel like somebody is going within, really doing some soul searching. Really, remember what I was talking about with Pluto, as things are deconstructing, it's, removing debris, if that's a way you want to look at it, right? Or just a way of thinking about it, where it's removing a bunch of debris or things that are just um, blocking off something deeper for you to get to. And I feel like these are your gifts. These are just beautiful energies. I feel parts of yourself you may not even knew existed because they were buried, and you just weren't tapped into them. I feel like this um, transformation is removing the debris around those so that you can uncover these things. And when you come out of this rest, recharging, recovery, whatever this is, you are back, like I said, feelings in your power, standing in your power, coming back full of life. And I would agree with the Queen of Wands showing up. Queen of Wands talks about strength, courage, confidence. I told you I was feeling that over here. I was feeling that with this standing in your strength. And now to see these all connecting like that really gives me that indication of when you come out of this rest, recharging, this hibernation, and I'm air quoting that, right? That you feel more rejuvenated, you feel like more restored, you feel more powerful, you feel stronger, you feel more confident, you feel ready to take on the world and take action. Bottom of the deck is the Hanged Man. I feel like it is important for you, though, to take that time to go through this rest, recharge, rejuvenate, retreat. The Hanged Man talks about being in limbo, hanging in limbo, things really not doing too much. It's like a time to go within. It's time to see things from a different perspective. It's time to gain some sort of enlightenment. And I feel like that was what I kind of feel like this is all like some parts of this has happened, some parts of this are happening now, and this is some parts are what you're moving into. Grab a drink. All right, let's keep going. Let's look at what the sun. Sorry, I tried to avoid that, but didn't help. The sun, stand in your strength, and the Princess of Cups, more water energy. This is about ready to receive a new beginning. And I feel like this is connections, like relationships, connections, experiences that are of a higher vibration. They're more nurturing, kind, loving, like stable. That sort of energy. I feel this is something new for you. Like I said, I do feel like there is an old cycle and it feels like something that's stemmed since childhood. But this to me feels like a new cycle, a new offering. I'm sorry. The weather's been changing here. One minute I'm sneezing and oh, it's kind of crazy. Sneezing and sniffling, runny nose and everything else. And the next minute it feels like nothing. I don't know. So weird. So anyhow, the next cards that are coming up, and this is about the square, the joy of generosity, and then the Prince of Wands to the Queen of Pentacles. This feels to me like there is that blessing, that generosity that comes in over overcoming a challenge, but the challenge of speaking the truth, gaining clarity, speaking the truth. Yeah, there is a challenge that brings somebody forward. Look at this. To the Nine of Pentacles to the Ten of Cups. I feel like whoever I'm talking to, you've really had to, um, yeah, you really had to accept, acknowledge that there was a need of change or something needed to change. I feel like you've had to go within, do that soul searching, go within, seeking higher wisdom, knowledge, listening to your higher self. A lot of meditation I'm feeling with this. And I feel like there was a shift, a change with that enlightenment, the hanged man, where you've seen things differently now. Like there is something that is telling me someone sees specifically where the overcoming this challenge or this change is by them, like I feel, speaking out, expressing themselves, um, making it clear on how they feel about situations, experiences, or what they are tolerating, something like that. And I feel like it's almost, it feels to me like that is the catalyst for all of this change. Because once you speak that out and once you accept that, and I'm also feeling where they, like when they went within and something like that, where they traced it back to where it stemmed from, right? Like I just feel like it stemmed somehow from childhood, right? Like I again, this would not surprise me to have someone leave a comment and say something about, yes, their childhood, they didn't have a maternal person who was nurturing, kind, caring, loving, this, that, and the other thing, and maybe they always were seeking out attention or something like that, or love in unhealthy places. It just gives me that kind of energy, and then ultimately ended up in cycles where they were kept attracting this, and now they're recognizing that I am attracting this because I've never healed from a certain area, certain experience, a certain something in their life that I feel resulted from childhood. But I do feel now that they are recognizing it, they're seeing it, they're accepting the truth of the situation. They're seeing how many challenges in this lifetime, Five of Swords, words or conversations that were hurtful, challenging, kind of feeling betraying energy, and where maybe they felt like for a lot, if a lot, if not all of their life, they've had to do things on their own, right? Like no one could understand or whatever this was, I'm feeling like. And now I feel like there is a change. There is this change that wants to, it feels to me like bring completion, like to bring healing, to bring unconditional love, to bring nurturing in connections, in partnerships. But it's recognizing first and foremost why you aligned or connected or that's sort of connected, I'm feeling, with unhealthy relationships. And I feel like it's like, uh, I don't know if I would say conditioned belief system, or just thinking, this is the way it's supposed to be or something like that. I feel like someone has outgrown that. I feel like someone knows that now. They're no longer holding on to that pain, that trauma, that heartbreak, that sort of energy. They're bringing changes into their physical realm. by doing the work, by doing the healing, by recognizing and making choices and changes and overcoming that challenge. So this does not continue to be a repetitive cycle. Sorry about that, you guys. I do hope this message serves you well. I thank you for taking the time to listen. Please don't forget to like and subscribe to the channel. I greatly appreciate you. I send you love and light.